Giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai Bashim Kakwadash. Real quick, this is going to be an addendum to the previous video that I just put up. Matter of fact, let me bring it up. Pull this over here. What prophecy must take place before the destruction of Babylon? So, get this set up. Okay, we're right here at the 18-minute mark. Let me come back over here. So I'm gonna let him say what we got to say. This right here is, matter of fact, let me give you the title. The UPC is around the world under different names. And he even kind of mentioned that. Well, no, you got the UPC because Apostle Ramlab went into the UPC. But the UPC in other parts of the world are under different names, but it's still the UPC. Just like the RFID, the NFC, which is based in Europe, is the same thing as the RF, the same technology. But over here, it's called the RFID, radio frequency identification. In Europe, the same system, but it's called the NFC, near field communication. And the field meaning near field, meaning near, what do they call it? Like right now they have the 5G. So if you go on a highway, you see telephone poles, you see these thick black cords with like black boxes. They kind of look like party cups, but they're black. That's your 5G system. So that's why you're able, if you got a smartphone, sometimes you get 5G, sometimes you get 4G. 5G just means the fifth generation. So it's a lot more powerful, if you will, than the 4G or the 3G. Moves a lot faster. So they're thinking about talking about putting in the 6G, which is even faster than the 5G. So he made a statement. I'll let you hear it. He said the UPC, that's madness. He said the UPC is not even around the world. It's just in the United States. Well, guess what? UPC is around the world. UPC, the United States. I'm doing this because I didn't get this page right here on that video. The last, 5 minutes or so of the video, 10 minutes. So I'm just doing it right now. So what's a barcode anyway? The Universal Product Code, UPC, the United States, Canada. He said it's not even around the world. Well, it's in Canada. UPC is in Canada. The United Kingdom, which is on the other side of the pond, that's England. Australia, that's on the other side of the world. New Zealand and many other countries generally use barcodes known as universal product codes. So the UPC is recognized in countries outside of the United States. So he lied right there. But you have the EAN, which stands for the European Article Number, which is the same technology as the UPC. It's just got a different name. So you got International Article Number, merchants in Europe. Well, these are European countries. The UK is European. Canada is on this side, but they're almost like a European country, but on this side, they're north of the US. Let me see. So when they go shopping in the UK, you got the product, use the product, scan it, and you move. That's why, the cashier lady or the man, they'll scan things. They don't punch things in no more if they didn't go up there and tell you. All right. And this is just a step. This has been around since, I would say, the late 80s into the late 70s into the early 80s. So this whole the Karagma system, the MOTB has been in the works since the 70s. Even it really goes back to during the time of Hitler when they tattooed the JJs. I think the IBM, the famous IBM company, they were behind that. And I forget we did videos on that as well, but they actually put tattoos on them. So now they're going to put a different form of tattoo. They're going to put a chip in you, which has all your information. All right. So, oh, and by the way, I put up a video on Odyssey. Check out my most recent video, and you see this. Which she's an Oriental lady, and she goes all into the the Karagma, the system. It says international article number, merchants in Europe and other areas around the world. So the UPC is around the world. Sometimes it's known as the EAN. Around the world, often use a barcode, which is UPC, EAN, same thing. Barcode type known as an international article number, or EAN, European article number, since it's formerly known as European article number. Now, why did they change it from European article number to international article number, which should be what is it? IAN. It should be IAN. This is the old name. Why? Because it's outside of Europe. They're going to use that same system, whether it be UPC, EAN, or IAN, or ISBN. ISBN stands for International Standard Book Number, which is another way of saying UPC, the United Universal Product Code. It said books often use the International Standard Book Number, ISBN, barcode. This is also a barcode. So if they change the name, it's still the same technology. When people in another country, like in Europe, get the MOTB, it'll probably be called something else other than the chip. It's the same technology, it's just different names. And that's why the scripture said it speaks about the whole planet that is part of the grid on this. That's what the whole one world order is all about. It says ISBN, books often use the International Standard Book Number, ISBN barcode format, which is compatible with the EAN, because it's the same system, but you just got another name. So if a European that deals in EANs or ISBNs, when they come to the States, if they deal with the same technology, they're just going to change the name. Well, it's not called EAN, it's called UPC. So it's the same thing. This technology is going to lead to people getting chipped. So now let me let you hear. And you know what the scriptures say about a novice. Lest he be lifted up, not a novice, lest he be lifted up with pride, come under the condemnation of the devil. And that's written that's in the scripture for a reason. So let's listen to this madness.
Now listen to this madness. We went into the scriptures and the precepts and calculated the number of the beast. Huh? And we went into it and showed you what the number of this thing means and what Israel means. Oh, let's see if there's any scriptures in this.
This guy's not considering the fact that myself, and I would say Apostle Gabar and Apostle Reinblad, he wasn't even born when we were speaking. This is a young dude. And that's a total sign of disrespect. And I guarantee you, the Most High is going to break this group up. Guaranteed. He's going to break up all of those groups that are not teaching the scriptures correctly. That's a level of disrespect for men that's been laboring for years. The reason why you teaching it, if none of the one Westers got on YouTube and started teaching, you wouldn't be teaching. You ain't gonna get up one day and just start teaching the scriptures. You had to watch countless videos of GMS, of Zabak, maybe the IUIC, maybe you watch a couple from the ISUPK, and you just said, well, look, I'm not gonna join no camp. I'm gonna set up my own camp. Least being lifted up with pride, he come under the condemnation of the devil. He's gonna come under the condemnation of the devil. And that not just him, the rest of y'all that are just doing what the hell you want to do. Let's listen to some more. The point that the Apostle Ramla was making is when you look at the barcode, he was going in on this where it has no, everything is numbered, right? Except for these elongated numbers, which you got one on one side, one on the other side. So you got three. Actually, you got a 6-6, then you got a 6, then you got another 6-6, then you got a 6 over here. And if you look at it closely, as I play it, it'll get closer. You'll see 6, and you'll see the two skinny lines, same lines that you see over here. And you notice that there's no 6 because it would be obvious. You see those elongated lines. If they had put the numbers there, they would have said, well, 6, 6, and 6. And people would put one and one together, you know what I'm saying, and realize, well, wait a minute, is this the beast system? Because everything they do is it's secretive. And the ones that know it are the ones that are the insiders. A lot of these movies that you see, they put out messages in the movie White Noise. Watch the movie White Noise. I didn't even get a chance to watch it. I watched the trailer to it, but it's on Netflix if I'm not mistaken. And basically, what happened in that movie happened in real life, maybe a year later. I'm not going to go any further into that. So the Simpsons, they show you in the movie The Simpsons what they're going to do before they do it. So is that a coincidence, or they're planning on doing it, but they're letting the insiders know, and then the ones who the Most High open up their eyes. So the Most High definitely opened up our eyes to the charagma, to the MOTB, and I'm 1,000,000,000% sure of that. I'm 1,000,000,000% sure of that. And back, like I said in the previous video, back when we first got on YouTube and we started doing the chip, I can see that nobody could really see it. But now it's already here. People are getting it. There's countless videos on that subject. Like I said, watch the newest video that is like 30 seconds long, the newest video that I put on Odyssey of a Moabite lady. And she's saying all the things that the charagma can do. So if you can't see it, either the Most High blinded you or you got a bag. We don't know. We don't know if these guys, we don't know if they just follow some other, well, Zabak didn't say it, so I'm not going to say it. You know, I like what GMS, when they say this, I like the blue letter, but Zabak said that, you know, that the mark of the beast is John 3:16. And they keep changing their story. General Yohana Holly even mentions it. You hardly ever see him teaching, but you have Bishop Nathaniel. He changed the story. At first, he said that it's talking about countries and nations. I'm sorry, countries and businesses and corporations. Now he's saying it's people, and they are going to give you a chip, but it's not the fulfillment of Revelation. So he changes the story. They said, meddle not with them that are given the change. We never changed the story. If you go back and catch a video that we did in 2010, we're saying the same thing now, the same thing. We haven't changed the story at all. And we're correct. And like I said, I'm going to say, I've said this is my umpteenth time I'm saying it, there's going to be a major shakeup in Israel when you're going to have to line up and get a charagma. That's then it shall be known who are my chosen, because the chosen are not going to accept it.
Each number, if you go over each number has a bar, with a certain type of thickness to identify when they scan it, to identify.
There's two ways a computer can read it. That represents a 6. What's the proof? Right here. Got the 6, you got the 2 lines. Over here, you got the 6. And then right here, this represents a 6-2, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So you got the 2 long lines and you got the 2 long, thin lines. And it's telling you right there it's a 6. If there was another 6, you would see those 2 long lines. So you got a 6, 6, and a 6. Now this guy jumps up and says, well, see that they don't do that in Europe. Well, yes, they do. They got the same, I just showed you. They have the same thing, but it's under a different name. RFID in the States, NFC in Europe. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The UPC, the EAN, and the ISBN is all the same thing, but just has a different name. So what this man is doing, he's putting his foot in his mouth, and he's gonna, he's gonna be found to be a liar. All of them, Bishop Nate, General Yohana, all of them. Anybody that's teaching contrary to what we're teaching it the right way, according to the way the Most High wanted to be taught. We're breaking it down the right way because we believe that we're men of the Lord, humbly.
What this particular product is. So you have number 1, you have number 2, which are 2 lines which are spread apart. You have number 3, which is 2 thick lines spread apart. You have 4. I'm sorry, this is something else. You have 4 here, this line here. Then you have number 5. So the way they're set up, that you have 6. Now 6 is what? 2 small lines. Oh, that's enough of that. It's just winging it.
So you hear what this fool said? Just winging it. Like we've been in this thing. I've been in this thing for going on 40 years. Apostle Ramla been in this thing for, I would say, 30 years, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more. He's been in this thing for about 30 years. We've been dealing with this thing before you was born, my man. We're in our 50s and our 60s. We've been doing this. We've been out on the highways and the byways when you was getting your diapers changed. So after all the years of us going through the scriptures and going into the Hebrew and going into the Greek and going into maps and going into history and being out there on the highways and the byways and dealing with all kind of people, Christians and so forth, coming up against us, and we confounding them, all of a sudden we're winging it? What kind? That's like telling a college professor, you want to be a lawyer, you go to the top law school and you got the top professor at Yale teaching you law, and you yell out, man, you just winging it. They're gonna say, man, don't have this guy come back. Don't have this guy. That's a deep level of disrespect. And he's gonna eat his words, guaranteed. These guys are gonna eat their words. And every last one of you, IUIC, ISPK, any of them other groups. I don't know about all them other groups, but IUIC, ISUPK made it known that the MOTB is not what we say it is. Oh, Sons of Thunder down in Atlanta, they bucked up against it. So you're going to eat your words. And if your people are not zombified, they're going to ask you what I do. And if you tell them, nah, go ahead and take it, guess what? They'll line up and they'll take it. So let's listen to a little bit more, and I'm going to close.
Winging it, man. Just winging it. You know how many types you got? You have 1,000 types of barcodes, man. Not all for the same.
Hold up. He just said you have 1,000 types of barcodes. There's only 3 types of barcodes. And one of these, the EAN, the UPC, or the ISBN, will go to parts of Africa because everything is coming out of Europe. I mean, it's not hard, brother. This is not rocket science. This is not hard. But if the Spirit opened up your eyes, you would see it. The fact that you can't see it, somebody please read Isaiah 6 and 9. There's a spirit on you to close your eyes. Either that or you took the bag. I believe some of you guys took the bag. I don't believe he took the bag. So let's come on back. Let's listen to a little bit more of this madness.
You're thinking that UPC is only used in this place, huh? You got EAN in Europe. You got G.
And right, EAN, and let me go back to it again. You got EAN in Europe, which is a lie because the UPC, is this Europe? Is United Kingdom in Europe? Is Australia in Europe? Is New Zealand considered Europe? And many other countries generally use barcodes known as a universal product code. Canada, United States, Australia, New Zealand. Now, New Zealand is not near the UK or Europe, what you call it, West Europe, but who colonized New Zealand and Australia? It was Europeans, people out of England. So they considered Europeans. They have Australian Edomites have relatives in different parts of Europe. Then it's these two cover the rest of Europe. And really the word should be IAN, international article number. So this might be the one that's going to be used in Africa and China and so forth.
GTN1 type of barcodes used in other places of the earth, man. And all it's just.
And it's the same thing. It's the same technology. 5G that's all over the world. It's the same technology. The 5G is no different in China than the 5G over here in America. The 5G is no different from Europe than over here or from Africa. You need the 5G in order. That's if you notice, they're doing construction in various places. Like every time you go down the street or whatever, there's always closing the roads because they're building the infrastructure for the charagma. That's what they're doing, which is called smart. What do you think smart cities are? What do you think 15-minute cities are?
It's madness. There's no scriptures. It's not calculated number of the beast. And that would mean to buy or sell, you need it in your forehead and your right hand. So that you're saying the barcode is either going to be in your hand or your forehead, or it's inside the RFID chip, which means somebody has to scan your forehead and your right hand. And in order to,
what did he just quote? He just quoted Revelation 13. They say he's saying, he said, you mean you got to get a chip in order for you to have this work for you, the UPC, you got to get a chip. He's explaining it and not realizing it, man. He doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. And the class don't see it. And all these guys explain it well without realizing that they're breaking down Revelation 13 and 16. Yes, you're going to have to get a chip. Yes, they're doing it right now. They're doing it big in Switzerland.
To sell something, if I got to sell something to you, now they can tell me how to do it because they made it wrong. So they do it. Watch the video. Your chip got to scan my forehead if you want to buy what I got.
It can scan your hand, your right hand. Most people will get the right hand. All right. So if you're going to buy, how are you going to make a deal? If you sell a car, how are you going to pull out cash or a check when everything is digital? Remember, when you made this video, the CBDC was talked about, but now they're actually saying we're going to push it now. And they said officially they're going to kick it off fully in July, and then it'll be they're saying Christine Lagarde, formerly of the IMF, she said, she did an interview, and she said this cashless system will be in full effect sometimes in the end of 2023, meaning around October, November. And like I said, my assessment, not prophecy, is that they could, actually start pushing that chip really heavy sometime in 2024. So we could be here. We definitely going to be here the rest of 2023. All right. So tighten your seatbelts. We're going to definitely be here part of 2024. I'm hoping that we are here in 2024, but we could be here until 2025. We don't know. Yahweh Shai doesn't know. The only one that knows is the Heavenly Father. The angels don't know.
Can we read Revelation 13 and 17? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, if your mind was open to the Spirit, it makes all the sense of the world. Because how else can you explain it? How else can you explain Revelation 13, 16, and 17? It says you need a mark in your hand. The word there is charagma. Charagma is a physical thing. When you go back to the word charagma, then you go to the root word. You go to the root word charax, and you go to what is it? Luke 19:43, I think, and it speaks about a trench. When you look that word trench up, I'm not going to go to it. When you look that word trench up, the word there is charax. Let's do that. Let's find out. Let's do it this way. Let me go to Revelation 13 and 16. Thank you. Okay, let me click on this. Did I pass it? Okay, Mark. Charagma. A stamp, an imprinted mark. The mark stamp the forehead or the right hand, literally the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Antichrist just means anybody that's against the Messiah. So in a way, they're right. The mark branded upon horses. So they're telling you that it's a physical thing. Something's going to physically be branded in you or sculpted into. Thing, carved, sculpted, graven work of idolatrous images. When you make a idol, you need what's called a chisel to take the gold or the silver and make it. This is simple. This is not, see, if the demons wasn't on you, you can see it. If the Most High opened up your eyes, you would be able to see it. So now let's go to the root. The root is charax. From caruso, to sharpen to a point akin through the idea of sketching. That's a palisades. A pale or stake. If you had a dowel of wood and you gonna kill Dracula and you didn't cut it on the bias, could you kill Dracula? No, you got to cut it on the bias so you can stick it in his heart. A palisade or rampart pales between which earth, stone, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. Luke 19:43. For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemies, the Romans, shall cast a trench about thee. They're going to build a wall. What do they start with? Just think for a minute. Use your brain for something. Use your head for something other than a hat rack. They build like a fence. They get palisades or pieces of wood. They cut it. They cut it on the bias and they stick it in the ground. And then when it's in there and secure, they put rocks on it to build a wall. They build a wall around Jerusalem. This is what this is talking about. Even Edomite scholars say that. This is when the Romans besieged Jerusalem. About thee and compass thee round and keep thee in on every side. So does that mean that the Romans going to give us a mark? No. It's telling you that it's a physical. The word charax and the word charagma is a physical thing. And the word hand means hand, and the word Forehead is metopon, which means something, your head in between your eyes, which is your forehead. So now let's listen. Matter of fact, let's come over here. Come back over here. And he called us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Small and great who? People, men, women, children. Small and great, rich and poor, rich people, poor people, free and bond. Free, meaning you're out there in society. Bond, meaning you locked up in the system. To receive a mark, the word there is physical. The word there is charagma. Charagma is a physical thing. We just read the definition. In their right hand, and it's talking about, the word there is dextros, which means right hand, your physical right hand, or in their forehead. The word forehead is metopon, which means your head between your eyes, which is your forehead. And you got to get that first. Then once you get it, 17th verse, and that no man, talking about an actual man, meaning man, woman, or child, might buy or sell, save he that had the what? The charagma, the mark, which is the chip, or the name of the beast, because that's inside of the chip. The information is inside the chip that you're pretty much a slave of the beast, and the number of his name. Then it goes into 666. Three score six, three score and six, 666. There's a reason why the barcode on either side there's a 666, in the middle is a 6. And then this dude just explained it. He said, that means you, for that have that work, you gotta get a chip in your hand, you gotta get a chip in your forehead. You telling me that's gonna, how does that make sense? I just made it make sense. I read it. I just made it make sense. Y'all should just go back and read it and really slow. I just made it make sense. Bishop Nathaniel, how in the hell can you get a corporation out of small and great, rich and poor? Give me a second. Yeah, what? No, I'm still up here. Still up here. In a little while. Somebody. How else can you explain that? Even the blue letter got it right, and you use the blue letter. What's ironic is you use the blue letter, and the blue letter says it's a stamp put embedded in your hand or your right hand to show worship to the Antichrist. It kind of went off, but they even know it. How in the hell can a white man know it and you don't know it? And you a Jake. So it starts off with, it's not corporations, as Bishop Nate said, or countries. It's small countries and great countries, big countries and small countries, rich countries and poor countries. But then it says right here, and that after this is a thought. This is the thought that comes after this thought. That's why you got to read 16 before you read 17. It says, and that no man, whether it's a small man, great man, rich man, poor man, free man, bond man, someone in prison, and that no man might buy or sell, because you're not going to be able to go in your wallet and pull out paper dollars. You're not going to be able to go and get a Visa card, pull that out and use it. You're not going to get a debit card. Everything going to be in your hand. It says that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, which is a physical thing, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Then it says 666. Go back. Where did I see 666 before? Oh, that's the universal product code. In Europe, it's called something else. And like I said, if y'all can't see this, You ain't meant to see it. Or you took the bag. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.